This is one of the strangest murder mysteries ever told. A case that left investigators baffled. A man found stabbed to death inside his locked motel room. No fingerprints, no weapon, and no way anyone could have entered or escaped. It became known as the murder with no killer. The year was 1994. In a small town in Mexico, police were called to a motel after staff noticed one guest hadn't checked out. When they forced open the door, the scene was chilling. The man lay motionless on the floor. Blood soaked his shirt. A single stab wound straight through the heart. But here's where things get bizarre. The door was locked from the inside. The windows were sealed. Security cameras showed only the victim entering the room and no one else. It was an impossible crime. At first, detectives suspected suicide, but the autopsy shattered that theory. The blade had been driven in with such brutal force that it cracked bone, something almost impossible to do to yourself. Even stranger, doctors found traces of blood in the victim's lungs, meaning he had been alive, breathing, as his chest filled with blood. Yet, still, no weapon was ever found, no fingerprints, no intruder, no answers. For weeks, police chased dead ends until one chilling theory emerged. The victim hadn't been killed inside the room at all. Hours before his death, he met someone outside the motel, and that's when the fatal blow was delivered. But the weapon wasn't a normal knife. It was carved from solid ice, razor sharp, strong enough to pierce skin and bone, destined to vanish. Mortally wounded, the man staggered back to his motel, locked the door, and collapsed. By the time his body was found, the murder weapon had melted completely, leaving detectives with nothing but a puddle of water. Overlooked as harmless. By the time his body was found, the murder weapon had melted completely, leaving detectives with nothing but a puddle of water. Overlooked as harmless. The blood in his lungs proved he had still been breathing after the stab. He was alive just long enough to walk back, lock the door, and seal the mystery. And so the case became a perfect paradox. A murder with no weapon, a victim with no killer, proof that sometimes the most impossible crimes are also the most brilliant. So, what do you think? Was this really a genius assassination, or could there be an even darker explanation? After all, a murder with no killer sounds less like reality and more like something supernatural.